So, where is the risk here? What madness is going to ensue in this election? We don't know what content we're going to be consuming that's AI that gets us enraged, and then we start hating each other. Who knows what stories, what fears the market has about, is Trump going to impose a 10% tariff on everything? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? Election years are all about the government giving out candy to appease the voters. And that's more cowbell in my mind. Don't use leverage. Today proved it. Don't overtrade. Just hold.
Don't forget to subscribe, crypto traders. Let's continue with the interview and the analysis of this one. In the landscape of election uncertainty, one pressing concern that has emerged is the pervasive influence of AI manipulation on public opinion. Raoul, with a discerning eye on the current socio-political climate, underscores the perilous repercussions of indiscriminate consumption of AI-generated content. The insidious nature of such content lies in its potential to stoke the flames of rage and division among people, undermining the very fabric of democratic discourse. The second point of contention is the ambiguity surrounding the dominant narratives and fears that will grip the market during the election period. The fluid nature of public sentiment becomes a volatile force, shaping the trajectory of stories that capture the collective imagination. This uncertainty poses a challenge for people trying to navigate the tumultuous sea of information. Pal also introduces the specter of a 10% tariff imposition by Trump on everything. This potential policy move injects an additional dose of uncertainty into an already jittery market. The nuanced interplay between political decisions and economic repercussions adds a layer of intricacy to the election landscape, further intensifying the challenges faced by investors and businesses alike. AI manipulation, narrative unpredictability, and economic uncertainty during elections raise concerns, in the face of which the public must be vigilant and insightful, armed with the ability to critically evaluate information and navigate the nuanced landscape of electoral dynamics. As the political landscape transforms, individuals must be equipped to decipher the true from the manipulated, fostering a more informed and resilient society in the face of ever-evolving challenges posed by electoral uncertainty and AI manipulation.
Have patience. If you're going to have a degen book, have 10% of your assets in your degen book, and keep off DeFi. Don't go out trying to lend stuff for fancy returns because you get rug pulled if you're not careful. You've added a layer of risk, and before you know it, you don't own your coins anymore, and the game is over for you. So don't do that. Also, look, most exchanges nowadays are higher quality and relatively safe, but if you can, you should not keep your coins on an exchange. That exposes other risks. So you need to have wallet hygiene. Just store things on different ledger devices or whatever. Don't store it in one wallet. Don't use that wallet for everything because then everybody sees your wallet and you can be open to a scam. So just do that and just don't FOMO into the shiny thing because that is a sure way of losing money. And just step back, let the madness ensue, have a smile on your face, watch it, but try not to get caught up in it. If you do, use your 10% of your book to get caught in the madness so you can laugh at yourself, because I guarantee that 90% of you will lose 90% of the money in that book. Some of your friends will make the 100x, and you'll be always thinking, I can be them. You won't be. You never will be. People are starting to feel confident again. Right, and it took them a long time through 2023 to start to believe that the economy could recover, that it wasn't going to hell in a handbasket, and it was okay to be bullish again. And look, it's just the business cycle, and that's normal. It took people a while. It took people a while to recover from, but my crypto went down 75%. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock, it does this all the time. You'll just hang on, stick with it, don't up. So yes, we're seeing confidence come back. You're seeing more engagement in videos. You're seeing a lot more interest in crypto again. People are starting to say, I get it now. All of that kind of stuff. So that's been great. We've also, we've got as we built this new platform that I've mentioned before, there's a whole free component now. And we've built education for people that's free as well. So people just go to realvision.com/Scott, go there. It's free. But there's whole education about crypto to not f this up. We're just trying to help as many people as possible, as you are. Just help them navigate this, because once you've been around the block a few times, you know how it plays out. The kind of smaller tokens and speculative stuff that I've got, and I check that all the time. Don't even check the P&L. I'm just like, are they up or down 20% today? Because they invariably are up and down 20%. The gold people really hate the ETF. They think it broke their world, like they thought the futures. And yes, look, there is a reality of the fact that this is keeping money inside the TradFi system. But we also know it's like tourists. They go on holiday, look at this great country. Like you come to the Cayman Islands, you start thinking, maybe I could move there. And before you know it, you buy an apartment there or whatever it is, right? People, as you said before, they come in through the Bitcoin ETF, they look around and like, I want some of that meme coin ridiculousness or NFTs, or I want to sport a punk. And before you know it, they're in crypto land full time. So is some tokens with new charts will do well? Who's that going to be? Is that going to be, we've seen it with Bonk, could it be with any of the others, a whole bunch of these? And that's a bit of a crapshoot who gets adoption. The one thing that for everybody else to bear in mind is that these cycles tend to play out the same way. So it tends to start with crypto spring, is Bitcoin dense. We then start transitioning later spring, and it seems to be always DeFi season. I don't know why, but DeFi season starts taking off. Then you start hitting alt season. When global liquidity starts increasing year on year, alt season hits and ETH starts outperforming Bitcoin. And then you get some of these ridiculous tail events. Also, NFTs lag. So we're kind of like we were beginning of last year in crypto, where some of the NFTs have found a base and are rallying. Others are still bleeding. Obviously, some of those will go to zero, obviously. But that NFT space, it really takes off when ETH goes to all-time highs. That's what happened last time around, and then it utterly explodes because everyone's got money to recycle. They buy trophy assets, everyone wants to buy a punk, and then off it goes again. So we've got that madness still to come. We've still got another leg, meme coin madness, dog coin madness comes later still. So that's in Q2 is kind of dog coin madness to come. So all of the psychology of the degens, that'll play out as normal, plus the sensible bets of the right layer ones. This is something I'm toying with. So here's my probability set. 60% chance it's a regular cycle, somewhat like the last cycle, but maybe a bit more like the previous cycle, that 2017. They got a little bit crazy. I think there's a 20% chance that maybe it all gets front-loaded because we get all of the retail demand via the ETF, and it actually is a shorter cycle than expected. If you think the previous cycle was actually a bit stunted versus where people's expectations were, maybe this is stunted in terms of time. The other outcome I've got, the other 20% chance, is that this is a gigantic bubble cycle, somewhere between the 2012-13 version and the 2015, because everybody can now participate and total fucking madness ensues. And I don't know which one of those three it's going to be, but they've all got a decent chance. If you think about, everybody was a little bit shocked that we didn't have a final leg last time around. So they now got that imprint, like they've all been waiting for the down 50% leg, the COVID leg, which is not going to happen again. So they're now all expecting that it to be a smaller cycle. And I always look for where can the crowd be wrong, but still be right, which is like it's going up, but it goes up more. Everybody's been through that cycle. You have, I have, everybody. Is you come in on Bitcoin and then you walk into the candy store and it's like, holy shit, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And before you know it, you're doing ridiculous things you should never be doing and having a lot of fun doing it, even knowing that it's crazy.
An astute observer can discern the distinct cycles that shape the trajectory of various cryptocurrencies within the market. For example, the pivotal role played by Bitcoin's dominance as a precursor to these cycles. This dominance marks the beginning of a fascinating sequence, beginning with the rise of Bitcoin and gradually developing into the realm of decentralized finance, commonly referred to as the DeFi season. In the ebbs and flows of market sentiment, a noteworthy transition occurs as DeFi season gives way to the captivating allure of alt season. It is during this phase that Ethereum emerges as a standout performer, outshining Bitcoin in terms of market performance. Investors interested in capitalizing on these cycles should keep an eye on these changes, strategically adjusting their portfolios to take advantage of the potential gains offered by altcoins following Ethereum's rise. Adding a layer of nuance to this narrative, Raoul highlights the unique position of NFTs within these cycles. Interestingly, NFTs seem to march to a different beat, exhibiting a tendency to lag behind in comparison to their cryptocurrency counterparts. This observation serves as a valuable insight for investors, suggesting a need for patience when navigating the NFT space. By understanding the sequence of Bitcoin dominance, DeFi season, alt season, and the distinctive behavior of NFTs, investors can position themselves strategically, maximizing the potential for profitable ventures amidst the ever-evolving landscape of the cryptocurrency market.